pawn of the Queen. There is something you must see. Carry your thinking machine to the place I send you. Crota claimed innumerable souls in this pit. The wages of our heroism were countless corpses and a strengthened, emboldened enemy. It's no wonder the hidden swarm see guardians as their great whetstone, ever eager and willing to sharpen their blade. Will you be prepared, or will you be bored? There is something you must see. Carry your thinking machine to the place I send you. Does it burden you, Guardian, to know that your presence here was not simply expected, but desired? That you were summoned. The pyramid can conjure nightmares from high places. They require our human psyche, anguished, burdened, life-bearing vessels. Greetings, pawn of the Queen. Sharpen yourself with knowledge before the true battle begins.
offer no set conclusions, but it is my belief that the Fallen dare plunder the Hellmouth's depth. They know the value in mastering the strange science of their enemy, be it Hive, Human, Vex, or Cabal. They risk much to steal pieces of understanding from us all, until that time when they no longer fear extinction, but inflict it. Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. Those who worked here sought knowledge, despite dangers, heedless of consequences. Some seekers find reward, others ruin. Which shall you be? Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. Let me teach you. The coming clash will be so much more entertaining if you are prepared for it. The moon sits lush with schisms, the result of Eris's curiosity. A pyramid of pure power with the ability to terraform. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? If the Traveler is a god of light, then what does that make the pyramid, who spews our tragedies back at us? We must always question the unknowable, for that is the only path to knowing.
It's here. It's hunting me.
Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. I have decided to impart upon you some of my knowledge. Listen well. is much history in the dust here. Grasp a handful, and you will hold light now extinguished. You will hold power misguided. These grounds are covered in the madness of days gone by, of guardians and hive alike. History haunts this place.
Is that it? I can hear it.
Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. Sharpen yourself with knowledge before the true battle begins. I entered the Hellmouth with a sense of fateful inevitability. We would all die, or worse. I knew this to be true. Woefully unprepared was what we were. I stand by that. But it doesn't mean I didn't respect them. I did then, and I always will. Come, Sharp One. Words are weapons, thoughts the art of wielding them. Listen well. It's unclear to me. Are the remaining fallen less because they have shed the dead ways of Kells and Archons? Or are they more? Is the shedding of their societal chains and the dissolution of their faith their end? Or an evolution? I fear the scattered fallen of today are forebears of a terrible threat yet to come. You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. In a nest left untouched, the hive pulse beneath the surface of the moon. Their influence grows, their presence spreads. What you see rising from the schisms is the very essence of the hive themselves, for there is naught else within the moon's core. Come, sharp one. Go where I send you. I have knowledge for you. The pyramid hasn't always held residence on the moon. Like anything foreign, it arrived here somehow. That chasm would suggest a fall and a crash, and it is as such. Only a single question lingers. Why? The collapse largely remains a mystery. Go where I send you. I have knowledge for you.
Had the traveler not come to our fragile home, humanity would have carried on as it always had, reaching blindly through the dark. We likely would have extinguished ourselves well before the Hive took up the task. So I ask, are we fortunate or unfortunate?
Eyes up, Guardians. We're detecting a war set coming down in that region. Ensure it's safe transport home. That's intel we can use.
Listen. Listen. Sharpen yourself with knowledge before the true battle begins. Vengeful Ariana. Crota may have taken her light, but she left her soul on the battlefield. She had a death wish long before she approached me. In the end, of course, she blamed me for what happened. Pride begets death. You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. Words are weapons, thoughts the art of wielding them. Listen well. Not even Crota's brood could fully contain the rage of Vogoth the Untamed. His power was nearly unmatched. But in the end, the light overpowered Vogoth, and he was slain at the will of guardians just like yourself. Will you be prepared, or will you be boring? Go where I send you. I have knowledge for you. How long were the hive on the moon? How did they arrive? How patient they were, listening to invaders scrabble across its surface. But I do not think they were hiding. They awaited a sign. You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. Words are weapons, thoughts the art of wielding them. Listen well. crawl through the void like worms. The accelerator flew humanity's necessities on swift wings, flitting them from the moon to the colony like slug. But worms do not survive like Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. There is something you must see. Carry your thinking machine to the place I sent you. How many crews have called this catch home? How many worlds has it plundered in the name of fallen houses that have since crumbled? Now the grand houses, like this catch, are broken things, shades of old glory, like poor Luna. Once majestic, once an inspiration, now nothing more than a shattered relic of glory days beyond reclamation. You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. Behold, causation in all its exquisite majesty. Your persistence reshapes the hidden swarm. In turn, the swarm reshapes the moon. Their adaptations will only become more profound, the effects more pronounced. They have you to thank for this.
I'll hold them off!
Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. There is something you must see. Carry your thinking machine to the place I send you. Just think of the old colonies, lumbering towards some distant planet loaded with bodies. And then some soulless cargo package flashes by, shot from this accelerator, piloted by an AI. It weighs you down, blank. Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. I have decided to impart upon you some of my knowledge. Listen well. For eons, the pyramid sat hidden beneath the surface. The Hive, however, knew of its presence. For how long, I do not know. Their lust for power kept it secret. That we know of it now only makes me question whether it's due to coincidence or design. Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. Go where I send you. I have knowledge for you. Exploration and discovery are pleasant but thin euphemisms for conquest. This was as true in our history as in any you'll find. Our first steps into the inky dark were no different. Lest we forget, the Hive's lunar settlements predate our own. There was a crew of Fallen who took to the Hive's sword logic. They are all dead now, by their own hands. They sought ascension, but understood nothing of its meaning. I watched as they slaughtered one another over the course of months. The last of them, with no crew left to lead, walked to Hellmouth's edge and cast himself into the depths. Will you listen, or will you be like your vanguard? Let me teach you. The coming clash will be so much more entertaining if you are prepared for it. For millennia, humanity gazed at the moon and
envisioned visiting. Yet, no one dreamed it had trespass. The Hive is not a welcoming host, as you well know.
Will you listen? Or will you be like your vanguard? Words are weapons. Thoughts, the art of wielding them. Listen well.
Cloistered in their keep, the daughters of Crota labor to architect a future renewed for their soul. They refuse to accept a world in which Oryx was struck down but not succeeded. They seek to correct that which was left undone.
You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. Sharpen yourself with knowledge before the true battle begins.
What's next? What if? Why? It eats at us what we don't know. It always has. Ignorance has never been bliss. Not once you've learned, you lack the truth.
You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. I have decided to impart upon you some of my knowledge. Listen well. Countless guardians perished, not just on the battlefields of the Great Disaster, but within the lair of the Hive as well. Having lured them in, the Hive had a plan. It was domination and death. For Guardians, there was no escape that day. Come, Sharp One. Words are weapons, thoughts the art of wielding them. Listen well. In the Hive, the Vanguard faced a new threat they didn't understand. So they did what they do best. They shot at it. And to their detriment, it shot back. Death was delivered the day of our great disaster. You have wandered far, from one enemy's dreamland to another. There is something you must see. Carry your thinking machine to the place I send you. The study of alien flora concealed stranger sciences, but it was not without its own merit. They learned much here that has since been lost. Will you be prepared? Or will you be bored? Words are weapons, thoughts the art of wielding them. Listen well. could tell you that the pyramid hid from me as it did from you, but I would be betraying the truth. In this form, sight extends beyond the borders of certain realities. Though the pyramid came into view, I could not see inside then nor now. But oh, how I wish I could. Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. In the absence of the ability to bring nightmares forth, the Hive manipulate ours, worshipping and even dying for them. No doubt they have plans for the nightmares. The Hive adapt, they evolve, and they do it quickly. Listen. Go where I send you. I have knowledge for you. From this pit, despair rose to power. Crota climbed out, and we all paid the price for not immediately noticing. We blame him for what happened, refusing to take responsibility for our own ignorance. Knowledge was our only true path to power, and we chose guns blazing instead. I have decided to impart upon you some of my knowledge. Listen well. Beyond that day, the Vanguard would learn the true power of Crota's will, of realms between reality and the great beyond, of ascendance. I would be their guide. They would learn these things from me, and in them, they would find truth and power. I shall be your Virgil once again. I have decided to impart upon you some of my knowledge. Listen well. Leaderless, the hidden swarm have sought a replacement. Sword logic dictates the violent removal of oneself in favor of the powerful. Never underestimate the machinations of the Hive. In the absence of guidance, they are always in search of it. Come, Sharp One. Sharpen yourself with knowledge before the true battle begins. In a nest left untouched, the Hive pulse beneath the surface of the moon. Their influence grows, their presence spreads. What you see rising from the schisms is the very essence of the Hive themselves, for there is naught else within the moon's core. Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. Words are weapons, thoughts the art of wielding them. Listen well. There were those who believed that in Crota, the end had come. From the moon base, they cried out for help. Their message beamed far and across the system. It would land with those who would not respond, deemed to be only affairs of the city. Will you listen, or will you be like your vanguard? All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. Omar Aga entered these depths with his own unique faults, disbelief and distrust. But beneath it all was his truth, fear. The hive fed off this very fear. Poor Eris had to watch as his light was stripped from his soul, and his essence used to strengthen the hive. Greetings, Pawn of the Queen. All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome.
The heresy was born here in the keep, where the daughters of Crota first began their experiments with nightmares. It was here their priestess asked the question that her sisters would not. If Oryx cannot be resurrected, can he be with me?